Hello students, hope everyone is fine and doing well. So we are going to start the next topic, differentiation or differentiable functions, differentiability. So before we discuss the new topic, just recall what we studied in class 11. Any function is differentiate, then we represent it as f dash of x or d by dx of f of x or y equals to f of x and then dy by dx or y dash. These are the different notations we use for representing a function is differentiable when we differentiate the function. And then here x is in the denominator, d by dx, that is differentiating the function with respect to x. F of x, this is a function in terms of x, so differentiation also will go in terms of x only. Now there you discuss uv formula, u derivative of v plus v derivative of u, Leibniz or product rule. Then quotient rule also we discussed, u by v formula, v derivative of u minus u derivative of v upon v square, where v should not be equals to 0. So these two formulas we already discussed in class 11. We solved some questions based on this. Then we have some x power n difference. If function is f of x power n, the differentiation of x power n is n into x power n minus 1. Sine derivative is cos derivative is minus sine, tan derivative is sec square, then sec derivative is sec x tan x, cot derivative is minus cosec square x, then cosec derivative is minus cosec x cot x. Like this, we have derivative of e power x is e power x, derivative of a power x is a power x log a. These are the formulas we discussed. Then we discuss the left limit and right limit to prove any function is differentiable or not. Limit extends to a, minus means this is the left limit, f of x plus a minus f of a upon x minus a must be equals to right limit. If these two are equal, then I used to say the function is differentiable. Okay, so we'll use accordingly whenever it is required. If a function is f is differentiable at a point C, then it is also continuous at point C at that point. Okay, not only that point, if entire function is continuous function, differentiable function, then it must be a continuous function. But converse need not be true, that is every continuous function need not be differentiable. Okay, so only one way it is true property, every differentiable function must be a continuous function. Now in 12th we are going to find out the chain rule. By using the chain rule, how we differentiate. For example, let me take the example to explain what is chain rule. Find the derivative of the function f of x equals to sine x square. For example, we have sine theta. Derivative of sine theta is cos theta, right? That we already have the formula. But so here what I do is, let me take y equals, capital letter is coming, y equals to x square. I am taking y value as x square. Oh, sorry, this exponent is not removed. Then instead of y, let me use some another function, some t equals to x square. Then you have f of x must be equals to sine t. Okay. Then instead of, if you want y f of x, that you can take as y equals to f of x equals to sine t. Now if I differentiate this with respect to x, derivative of y will be dy by dx. Okay, so it will come derivative of y with respect to x is dy by dx, or this you can write as f dash of x also, that is also fine. F dash of x, this also you can put. Now this is sine t. You are differentiating the function t with respect to x. So derivative of sine t is cos t. It will not end here only, into derivative of t. Okay, dt by dx also will come, because the function t, it is sin t, means this is a function in terms of t, but I am differentiating with respect to x, so dt by dx also will be there, which is equals to this cos t will remain as it is, multiplied by d by dx of, it will become d by dx of, so what is t we consider? T we have taken as x square. So t value I have taken as x square. So finally it will come a derivative of x square is 2x into cos t will come, again t will mean x square. So here derivative of x square is nothing but 2x. So I kept this 2x as it is, derivative of x square is 2x into cos t will come. So cos t I assumed as x square. Okay. So in every question you no need to write all these steps. Just derivative of sin x square is, in mind you calculate this as some t. So derivative of sin is cos t into derivative of x square, that is 2x. Now if I take this one, how do I differentiate? So here I'll get it as, maybe you can write all these steps, dy by dx equals to, yeah, f dash of x equals to, now this is sin. If I take this entire thing as some t, so it is sin t. So according to the definition, derivative of sin t is going to be cos t. Okay. So if you want, let me write here solution. Let t equals to this cos x square will come. Okay. So then your f of x will become, then f of x will be equals to sin t, because cos x square I have taken as t, so it will become f of x equals to sin t. So derivative of sin t will be cos t into dt by dx. So here it will come dt upon dx. Okay. So we got dt upon dx. Next step, which is equals to cos t into, so d by dx of, d by dx of, now replace t value. What is t value? I have assumed here cos x square. So here I will replace t value as derivative of cos x square, which is equals to, here you will have cos t still will remain as it is, into, now derivative of cos is minus sin theta. So let me put the bracket here. It will come minus sin, it will come minus sin theta, means x square will be there. So here minus sin x square into derivative of x square, into derivative of x square will become 2x. If you want derivative of x will come as 1, so that we no need to write. Derivative of x square is going to be 2x. Is that clear? First what I have done, I have taken sine of this entire thing as t. So sin t derivative is cos t into dt by dx. Then t I replace here it as cos x square. Now derivative of cos x square is minus sin x square into derivative of x square is 2x. So your final answer is going to be minus 2x sin x square minus 2 sine x square into, here cos t is there, so in place of t again I replace whatever I assume. So here it will come cos of okay, so this is going to be your final answer. Okay, so that's it, cos of cos x square, and this answer will come. So next, if I move to the next example, here you have now I started 5.2 exercise. Okay, 5.2 exercise. Yeah, 5.2 exercise. I think first, second, third, fourth questions you can solve. Let me solve this fifth and sixth questions where you have to use u by v formulas. This is sin ax plus b upon cos cx plus d. So according to the definition, I have to take this as, let given function as y equals to, let me insert the equation, it will come sin ax plus b upon cos cx plus d. Okay, so according to the definition, if I go for the derivative of the function, what do you get? Derivative with respect to x, differentiate, or you can write this way, differentiate with respect to x on both sides, then you will get dy by dx okay, so let me write here, this is dy upon dx, this we will get on both the sides. Now this is on the RHS, you have u by v formula. U by v formula, according to the formula, derivative of u by v function. U by v function derivative is v cx plus d u by v into derivative of v into, here I will write d by dx of derivative of u, that is sin ax plus b, v derivative of u minus u derivative of v minus sin ax plus b into derivative of, so one step let me write derivative of, so that you will not get confused, derivative of v, that is cos cx plus d, and it will come as v square. V square means the denominator square will come. So denominator will become cos cx plus d whole square. Okay, so this is the derivative of the function with respect to, by using the formula u by v. U by v formula is v derivative of u minus u derivative of v upon v square. So let me come to the next step and see what we get. This dy by dx will remain as it is. Okay, so let me bring it up. Dy by dx will be as it is only, which is equals to, now what comes here, let me insert the fraction. So your denominator term cos cx plus d whole square will remain as is because there is no operations in the denominator. Look at the numerator. In the numerator, this cos cx plus d will remain as it is, cos cx plus d into, let me put the bracket here, close the bracket. Now derivative of sine ax plus b. First derivative of sine theta is cos theta. So it will come cos ax plus b into a derivative of ax plus b. Derivative of ax is a, derivative of b is 0. Okay. So that's what the derivation will take place. Minus this sine ax plus b will remain as it is. So let me put this as sine ax plus b as it is into, now what will come, derivative of cos cx plus d. Cos cx plus d derivative of cos theta is minus sine theta, that is cx plus d according to the chain rule into derivative of cx plus d. So derivative of cx plus d means derivative of cx is c and derivative of d is 0. You may ask us, cx is there, why don't you apply uv formula? Because c is a constant term. So derivative of 2x, I will take it as 2. Derivative of 5x is 5. So derivative of cx is c and derivative of d. D is also a constant term. Derivative of any constant term is 0. Okay. So what you are going to get here it is, let me copy the entire step and I'll make the changes here. Yeah. Let me increase the size. Now here what is the changes will come is this minus will multiply with this minus. So it is going to be plus and this minus sign will be out. Okay. So do you think any further simplifications are there? It look like a cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. There is a formula, but here into multiplication with A. Here multiplication is there with C. So I cannot apply cos A cos B plus sin A sin B, which is cos A minus B formula. Okay. So this is my answer is going to be. There is no further simplification. So you can leave the answer here itself. Okay. So let me take the next example, which is multiplication formula. This is UV formula. UV formula is cos x cube is U term and sin square x power 5 is V term. So we are going to use UV formula. So let me type y equals to cos, it will come x cube multiplied by sin square x power 5. So it will come sin square x to the power 5 x to the power 5. Okay, sin square x to the power 5 you can write as sin x power 5 whole square. So let me put that way. Okay, sin let me delete this step and rewrite. So sin square x to the power of 5, I'll write it as sin becomes sin x to the power of 5 x to the power of 5 whole square. Both are same only. So I taken as this y. Now when I differentiate with respect to x on both the sides, so that statement you write down, differentiate with respect to x on both the sides. So here you will get dy by dx, which will be equals to, now this is u into v formula. U into v formula is u into let me put dot one, sorry, u into derivative of v, that is here derivative d by dx derivative of v. V means this entire term is v. U derivative of v plus v into derivative of, this is d by dx of u. U means cos x cube. Okay, so this is what the derivation steps will come. Now let me see the next step, how we are going to simplify. So here what I have done is RHS, LHS term dy by dx I kept as it is, cos x cube also will be as it is, into, now derivative of something power 2, like what is the derivative of x power n we discussed. Derivative of x power n is n into x power n minus 1. So this is 2 into 2 into this term to the power 2 minus 1 will come, or if you want, let me put here control Z, let me insert the equation so that we can properly link with the formula. This will come as 2 minus 1. So here derivative of x power n, here n is 2, is n into x power n minus 1. N into x power n minus 1, this question is not over, into derivative of d by dx of this sin x power 5 will come, because this is I taken as t, so derivative of t square is 2 into t power t minus 1 into derivative of t, so that will remain same. Now plus this term will remain as it is. Okay, next term is derivative of cos theta. Derivative of cos theta is minus sin theta, that is theta means x cube, into derivative of theta, that is d by dx of x cube. Okay, so here derivative of x cube will come. Next step I will write here, it is, till this step will remain same here, control V. Now come to the question, into 2 into, I have to enter the equation, into 2 into, now sin x power 5 to the power 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1 only, so this will remain as it is, into, now derivative of sin x power 5. Derivative of sin x power 5 is, derivative of sin theta is cos theta, so here it will become cos x power 5, cos x power 5 into, again derivative of x power 5. Derivative of x power 5 is 4 times x power 4. X power 5 derivative is 4 times x power, sorry, derivative of x power 5 is 5 times x to the power 4. So this term is finally simplified. Now plus this term will remain as it is, there is no further simplification of that term, into Now here what happens, this minus sine x cube is also will remain as it is. So this is also minus sine x cube into derivative of x cube is 3 into x power 2. That is 3x square. Now further, if you want to simplify some terms, maybe you can take common or you can leave the answer itself, or maybe constant terms you can multiply. 5 to the 10, 10 x power 4 cos x cube sin x power 5 cos x power 5. Okay, plus into minus is minus 3x square sin x cube sin x power 5 whole square, or you can leave the answer here itself. One more step you can write by multiplying the constant numbers and everything, and your answer is going to be final. Now when it comes to this 7th question, 2 root cot x square. So here what I do is, in the solution, let I'll get it as cot x square is equals to some t. So what do you get then? Y equals to 2 y equals to 2 root t. Now if I differentiate with respect to x, then I'll get it as dy by dx is equals to, so what do you get? 2 is a constant, so it will be remain as is. 2 multiply by, now derivative of root t is 1 by 2 root t. Okay, so derivative of root t is going to be 1 upon root t. Okay, now into derivative of t will come, right? So d by dx of t, maybe if you want, put it as derivative of t. Now replace your dy by t value. What I do is, let me copy the entire question, then the next step I'll replace t. So here t value I have to replace as cot x square. So t I'll replace here as cot x square. Here also t I'll replace as cot x square. So in the next step, what you can replace here? Here it is. So here you have dy by dx. This entire term will remain as it is. Into derivative of cot. Derivative of cot is, I think, minus cosec square x. Derivative is minus cosec square x. So derivative of cot is minus. It won't work like this. Cot x square is minus cosec square x. Cosec square x. Again into derivative of x square will come. Derivative of x square is 2x. This is the chain rule. Chain rule is until you get the last term derivative, it will go one after the other. First one after the other means, first what I have taken here, first I have to eliminate root t derivative. After 2 root t, derivative of root t is 1 by root t. 1 by 2 root t, derivative of t will be 1 by 2 root t. So I think here 2 will be vanished. 2 will get cancelled. Numerator t and denominator t both will get cancelled. Okay. So after root t derived, here root t derivation is 1 by 2 root t. After root t is derived, then I have to derive derivative t term. So t is nothing but cot x square. So here first I have to derivative cot. Okay, after getting the cot derivative is minus cos x square. I think here x square will come, not x. It should be x square. Cos x square, and then I have to do derivative of x square, which is 2x, and derivative of x is going to be 1 only. That's why don't do. If you want, put 1 also. Otherwise, not required. So that's it. Final answer is minus 2x cos x square upon under root cot x square. Now don't multiply x into x square is x cube, because this is with the angle of trigonometric function cos x square theta. In place of theta, here you have x square, and derivative of x square is 2x. This is outside of the trigonometric function 2x, and this x square is with the trigonometric function. That's why I cannot multiply them. Like if you have x into tan x, I cannot write tan x square, right? So that you cannot multiply them. Now further what you can do, cos root x, take root x as t, so minus sin t, because derivative of cos is minus sin t into derivative of t, that is derivative of root x, that is 1 by 2 root x. So answer is going to be minus sin root x upon 2 root x. That will be your answer. Okay. Now what can you do is, prove that the function f given by f of x equals to mod x minus 1, where x belongs to R, is not differentiable at x equals to 1. If you remember our last class, we discussed every modulus function is a continuous function, but here it is not differentiable. So modulus functions are the examples where which is continuous function but not differentiable. Where I discussed the theorem, I said converse is not true, because these are the examples. So for 1 mark they may ask you, give an example a function which is continuous but not differentiable. So you can give this question as an example. F of x equals to mod x minus 1. X belongs to R at x equals to 1. It will be a continuous function but not differentiable function. So how do I check the differentiability of this function? So to check the differentiability of this function, I use this formula, left limit and right limit formula. Left of function, right of function I will find out. Let's see what will come. What is the question number? Is 9. So when I come to question number 9 here, let's see what we got it. F of x, the function is given as f of x equals to mod x minus 1. Mod x minus 1. You have to find the continuity of the function at x equals to differentiability at x equals to 1. So if at x equals to 1, I have to find when x is less than 1 and when x is greater than 1. So let me see here. At x is less than 1. Okay. So let me maybe underline the cases which we are discussing. At x is less than 1. So I have x is less than 1, right? X is less than 1. Then I have x minus 1 is less than 0. Okay, if x is less than 1, then x minus 1 is less than 0. X minus 1 is less than 0. That means negative number. So x minus 1 is, if mod x definition, if you remember, if x is less than 0, mod x is going to be minus x. So x minus 1, then f of x, this function is going to change as, so f of x is going to be sorry, f of x equals to minus of x minus 1. Why I am putting minus in the before the x minus 1 term is this minus? Because according to the definition, mod x definition, if mod x is less than 0, then mod x equals to minus x. So that is the definition. So here I will get it as minus x plus 1, or you can put 1 minus x. So if it is x is less than 1, my f of x is going to be 1 minus x. Now if I go for the case here at x is greater than 1. So in this case, if I take x is greater than 1, then what do you get here? X is greater than 1, then you have x minus 1 is greater than 0. If x minus 1 is greater than 0, that means x minus 1 is a positive number. If mod x is greater than 0, x is greater than 0, then mod x equals to x only. So here also your f of x is going to be same. So you will get f of x equals to mod x minus 1 is nothing but x minus 1 only. Okay. So this is what your function says. Now let me go for the left limit of the function and right limit of the function and see what will come. Limit x tends to left limit means it will come 1 minus limit x tends to 1 minus will come. What is the derivative of the function says? F of what is the definition says? This one is where this is wrong. Yeah, x plus a minus f of a upon x minus a. Limit x tends to a. So in this example, our a is going to be 1. So I got, if you want, let me copy this formula 1. So before this, this was my formula of the left limit. I'll put equals to. So f of x plus a, that is f of, you have x plus 1, f of x plus 1 minus f of a means f of 1 upon x minus a, that is x minus 1. Okay. So this is what I get if I replace a value as 1. So if I insert the equation, limit x tends to 1 minus limit x tends to left limit, that's why I put minus sign here. Now here what do you get? That you have to be important step. F of x plus 1. I know f of x is 1 minus x. Here if x is there, so I got it as 1 minus x. But here you have x plus 1. So in place of x, I have to replace it as x minus 1. So you will get 1 minus, in place of x, I have to replace it as x plus 1. So this is f of x plus 1 minus f of 1 means in this function I have to replace f of 1. So I will get 1 minus 1 is 0. Mod of 0 is 0. So this will give me answer as 0. And here I will get it answer as x minus 1. Okay. So what will be left out? Here what we do is, instead of going this limit, I'll make little bit changes here. We are getting wrong answer by this way. I'll go limit x tends to 0 f of it will come as 0 plus h minus f of 0 upon h. This I'll go here as a formula, limit 0 plus h minus f of 0 upon h. So here what you get, 0 plus h means you will get 1. So I think you can skip this step. So here you have to make the changes. What are the changes will come here is 0 plus h means 1 minus x only will come, 1 minus h will come, 1 minus h, and f of 0 is, if I put f of 0, that is going to be 1, and here it is going to be h. Okay, denominator will remain as h only, which is equals to, so if I go for the further simplification, I will get limit, here also it will come as h tends to 0, h tends to 0, so here also I will put limit h tends to 0 minus, limit h tends to 0 minus, and here you will get a fraction as, numerator if I simplify, 1 and minus 1 will get cancelled, so I have minus h upon h, so final answer is going to be minus 1. Okay, similarly when I solve the right limit, so here let me take the same step, right limit what you get is, here it is, plus will come, so 0 plus h minus f of h upon h, which is equals to, maybe I'll put here, which is equals to, limit h tends to 0 plus will come here, into now fraction will come, fraction f of 0 plus h is, here it will come h minus 1, h minus 1, okay, h minus 1, and your right, sorry, right limit is also minus 1 only, right? Yeah. So it will be h minus 1, this is f of 0 plus h will come, minus f of 0 is minus 1 upon h. Okay. So this is what, minus of minus 1 will come. Okay. Sorry, f of 0 is minus of minus 1 will come here. Why this? Let me put here also one bracket so that it avoids the confusion of negative signs. H minus 1 will come f of 0 plus h. How do you find f of 0 plus h? You will find f of 0 plus h where it replace x, f of x is x minus 1. If I put x value as 0 plus h, so here also x will be replaced with 0 plus h. So 0 plus h minus 1, that is h minus 1, and this minus is for, the middle minus is for the, from the formula, this minus will remain as is here, and f of 0, substitute x equals to 0 here, it will become 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So that's why you have two minus signs there. So don't get confused. Then I'll get limit h tends to 0 plus. So here we will get it as 0 plus, and it will come here it as numerator. What you get? This minus of minus 1 is going to be plus 1. So minus 1 plus 1 will get cancelled. So finally I end with h upon h. So therefore my answer is going to be 1. If you see the left derivative, you got answer as minus 1, and you got the right derivative answer as plus 1. So left derivative is not equals to right derivative, and f is not differentiable. Okay. F is not differentiable. That's it. So this is an example of a function which is continuous but not differentiable. And how you prove the differentiability is not or not? You can use this method. So here use this method, limit h tends to 0, f of 0 plus h minus f of 0 upon h. Then you'll get the answer. Next question is, and the last question of this exercise, greatest integer function, you have to prove that it is not differentiable. Yeah, here it is. Prove that the greatest integer function defined by f of x equals to step of x is not differentiable. First of all, step function is itself is not a continuous function. So if the function is not continuous, then it cannot be differentiable. If it is continuous, it may or may not be differentiable. But if it is not continuous, then obviously it cannot be differentiable. So please remember these properties. So we finished 5.2 exercise. Next class we will discuss implicit and explicit functions, logarithmic functions, exponent functions, and so on. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Be careful. Take care. Bye-bye.